So welcome to McKellar Park in the first game of the NPL Capital Football season here live on Bar TV, Belconnen United and Gungahlin United. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. With me, as always, Steve Forshaw. Steve, first game of the new season is always a good one. It's always the time when everybody's hopes and aspirations are up there, and we're expecting no different from this one.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Everybody starts at a level playing field, and it's from here on in that people will establish their credentials as we move towards the end of the season. Two teams, both from semi-finals last year, both looking to repeat their performances last year, and I'm sure Gungahlin, who with the surprise packet last year, will be even stronger this, and Belconnen obviously defending champions.
Yeah, Gungahlin during pre-season, they've beaten Woden 6-2. They lost 3-1 to St George. They thrashed Queanbeyan City 10-2 and drew 2-2 with Kuma Tigers. So some reasonable form there for Marcel Munoz's team. And Belconnen United went down 3-2 to Sydney Hakoah, beat Dunbar Rovers 3-2, beat Tarrawanna 4-2, and had a couple of games against Wollongong Wolves and Southern Sharks postponed. So a bit more truncated there build-up, but you can't really take a lot from pre-season fixtures, but both sides seem to be amongst the goals.
Yeah, I think certainly the games that I've seen of Belconnen this year, they look capable of scoring, but they've not been able to keep them out of the other end. So we might look forward to a game where plenty of goal-mouth action. The results haven't gone their way in the pre-season, but they put together a really decent squad, and I'm looking forward to a decent game. They may well be a little underdone, Belconnen. They have missed some games, but Gungahlin are missing a few of their regulars as well. So that should even out over the course of the 90.
A huge amount of changes on both teams. 7 new players in for Belco, 8 for Gungahlin. But Belconnen missing a few today. Dustin Wells and Taylor Beaton out with injury. Daniel Fabrizio has a long-term injury. He should be back post-June. And Zach Mabry is a first-time father, so congratulations to Zach.
Yeah, it's Zach, a stalwart of the club over the last 4 or 5 years, and obviously we wish him and his wife all the best.
We'll keep you up to date from the other games as we go. There's only one other match this evening. Riverina Rhinos are playing Tuggeranong United, and we're hearing that Tuggeranong lead 1-0 over in Griffith. A goal from Tom Paget 15 minutes in, so good start to the season for Tuggeranong so far. Just looking at the two teams here then this afternoon, starting with Belconnen United in the blue shirts. We're expecting them to play with Finn Durack in goal. The lineup we were given had Phil Bourgeot as a sweeper, Isaac Clements, Harry Williams and Cam Reinhardt in front of him. Whether or not that is what happens, we'll wait and see. Samuel Habtemariam, Nick Dahl, Goran Mukesi across midfield, Marty Rains, Daniel Balak and Jason Ugrinich up front. Gungahlin, Jason Denham in goal. Back four for them, James Fletcher, Jack Green, Lachlan Griffiths and Nick Rathjen. 3 in midfield, Anthony Timotheo, Augustin Bangura, Ben Obst up front, Michael Ronaldo, Jason O'Dwyer and Mishko Naumoski. Are we expecting to see Belconnen play with a sweeper, Steve? What do you think?
No, I think it'll be an orthodox back four. I think Cam Reinhardt will slip in at left back and Phil Bourgeot probably on the right hand side of the back four with Williams and Clements in the middle. But it'll be interesting to see how when they start, what they're doing. I think Belconnen have got a very, very strong front four, and it's going to come up against one of the better players and one of the better back fours in the competition, certainly well marshalled by Jack Green in the Gungahlin defence. But I'm expecting a game where both teams go at it for the full 90.
Certainly hope so, and we're hoping there's plenty of goals for us to be talking about. There was plenty of goals in the under-18s competition earlier today. Riverina Rhinos beat Tuggeranong 7-1, and Steve Forshaw's Belconnen United started the season with a 7-0 victory over Gungahlin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely way to start the season. Very pleased with that. Some good football played today. And obviously the Riverina, who started well in the under-18 competition last year, have done the same again.
Just checking our numbers on the match card. There seem to be a few shirt change numbers out there, Steve, so hopefully it won't confuse us too much.
No, we should be okay, I think.
Just waiting for this game to get underway. What are you expecting from both these sides this season? You spoke a little bit about Gungahlin. What about Belconnen?
I think Belconnen will look to play a very attractive brand of possession-based football. They'll look to counter-attack rather than press. They've certainly got goals in the front half of the pitch. When you look at Jason Ugrinich, who's regularly in the top 2 or 3 goal scorers in the competition. Marty Rain returns to the club, and Daniel Barrett has joined from Kuma Tigers. So I think the front three is extremely strong, and they look to have plenty of goals. The midfield probably needs a little strengthening, I think, but we'd have to give them the benefit of the doubt for today. But I think Belconnen, certainly if they are underdone in this game, need to sort of be winning the game in the first 60 or 70 minutes. If it's still tied after 70 minutes, Gungahlin might just pinch it.
in terms of both sides, there's an awful lot of young players out there, isn't there? There's a few of the boys that have come in from Gungahlin from the Canberra United Academy this year. They're out there making their debut, and it's a very young-looking Belconnen side as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a young man's game, isn't it, these days? And although the NPL isn't a development league and shouldn't be treated as such, you've got to give the young guys a chance if you expect them to progress into better footballers than they were last season. And Belconnen and Gungahlin are both, in the past, proved the depth of bringing young players on.
Well, our match officials today have finally finished checking the nets. Gareth Biggs is the man in the middle, assisted on the line by Delphina Demoski and Hamish Driver Ray. Big day for the officials on round one as well. And what's always nice about round one in Canberra, Steve, is the weather.
Actually, couldn't get it much better for football now, could we? I mean, it's just lovely and cool, slight breeze, marvellous conditions, marvellous pitch.
So we're underway. Jason O'Dwyer back to Ben Hobbs and Gungahlin United in their black and white stripes. Nice to see them revert to their colours. Last year I think they played in yellow for most of the season, didn't they? And this is much more the Gunners team colours that we know. Here's Ronaldo, turns his marker, and Dahl gets a foot in. Reinhardt under pressure from Fletcher. Two fullbacks at opposite ends of their career.
Yeah, stalwart Cam Reinhardt and young Fletcher coming in from the centre of excellence.
Griffiths goes back to Denham. Can't miss Jason Denham in that red kit. All red today. Here's Griffiths. Another youngster that Marcel Munoz has brought in. It's a bit of a loose one though, and Ugrinik picks it up. Thought he might try his luck for a second. But Bangira was quick onto it, and Gungahlin can bring it away in the middle of the park. Timotheo goes back to Green, who goes all the way back to Denham. What we are expecting, Steve, from Marcel Munoz and Peter Marzi is two sides that both like to play football.
Absolutely. We should get from the purist point of view, you should get a decent game. Lots of decent passing, lots of good movement, lots of intelligent play. Should be a good game.
Griffiths to O'Dwyer. Looks for Obst, but it's met at the back. It's just thumped forward. I think that was Clements that sent that up the line. Shout out, of course, to Peter Marzi's boy, Leo, living the dream over in Scotland at the moment, doing a good job for Celtic youth.
He's doing really well. I mean, he's thoroughly deserving his opportunity. He's grabbed it with both hands. But I bet he's not got weather like this.
I think last time I saw it was snowing over there. Main stand here on camera, unfortunately, but quite a few people in this side stayed around to watch the first match of the season. This is Dahl. Sprung to prominence last year. Enjoyed a very good grand final.
He did, yeah. Ended up getting the winner, didn't he? But he's been a player that's really come on in the last two seasons, Nicky Dahl, and he's now one of the first names penciled in for the starting 11.
Ugrinik finds Mukevski, looks for the run of Barak. Daniel Barak won't keep that one in.
And the Belconnen made quite a decent start without sort of threatening. They've made a decent start. They've used possession well, and Gungahlin will be looking to sort of get more constructive possession in the midfield third if they expect to get in behind the Belconnen back four.
Griffiths had a lot of touches so far. Looks like a sweeping ball out towards Namoski, but the flag is up. Early offside call.
It's about the third or fourth time they've tried that same ball. It hasn't worked for them yet, but I'm sure Belconnen will be looking to negate that sort of switch.
It does look like a flat back four.
Yeah.
As we expected. Here's Williams. And the first touch for Finn Durack, the young goalkeeper. Looks for Rains. Brings it down nicely and can spread the play here. And there's an opportunity perhaps for Ugrinik. He's got Barak in the middle. Pulls it back and the shot comes in. It's a rather scuffed one in the end from Mukevski. But Dahl's picked up the pieces. Yeah. And just overhit that one towards Reinhardt. But that was a dangerous looking break and got a Mukevski drop deep and set Ugrinik away.
Yeah, and the return ball, like you say, was just a scuffed finish. But that was a good break, good in transition, got in behind. Lovely ball from Marty Rains to find Ugrinik, and Belconnen create the first half chance at least.
Well, I think you can see from that, Steve, what Daniel Barak brings to the team straight away as a spearhead in the number 9, drags defenders out and gives opportunities for those coming in afterwards.
Yeah, I think he's a wonderful acquisition for the club. I mean, he's had 2 or 3 really good years at the Tigers. He's been looking for a new challenge, and Belconnen were the club that he chose to offer, that have offered him that.
It's Obst, nice little flick, finds Fletcher. Obst again. Fair bit of skill in those feet. Here's Bangura. Looks a switch play, looking for the run outside here of Fletcher, of Ronaldo rather, but he was never going to get that.
No.
Let's talk about Usain Bolt playing football this year, and he wouldn't have even got that, I don't think.
No, not even a set off yesterday.
Nice ambition though.
Yeah.
The idea to stretch the game.
But it looks they're trying to get in behind both fullbacks at every opportunity, or so it seems in the early part.
Fletcher picked up that knockdown from Barak. It's Timotheo to Green. Now Griffiths. Looks nice and composed on the ball. Obst. The challenge in the middle of the park from Harry Williams. And now Dahl asks a lot of Bourgeot. Ugrinic. And he's tackled by Rathjen, I think that is, and there's a ball forward towards Ronaldo. Both sides looking to find their feet early on. It's Habtemariam. Saw his brother dancing the patterns last week for Olympic in the Charity Shield.
Got a couple of goals in a 3-1 win, did very well. Lots expected of young Sam too.
Yeah, the younger Habtemariam pretty much following in his brother's footsteps in terms of playing first grade football, and similar kind of player.
Similar kind of look. Eh?
Same hair, for sure. Here's Rains. Chance for him to bring it forward. Shooting opportunity perhaps for McKeskey. He declines it, finds Ugrinic. He's tackled by Bangura. And that's a great looking ball. Here's a real chance for the first goal, and Denham denies Daniel Barak, and the shot comes in, is deflected, and Barak was in then, and we thought for a moment that would have been the first goal of the season, but Denham spread himself well to deny the striker. Yeah,
the big keeper's done well. He's come off his line, kept himself big, and managed to get the block in, but I think it was a better save than it was a finish, Russ, and Daniel Barak will be ruining that and thinking that he probably should have scored.
He rushed it a little bit. There was more time than he thought, but it was a great ball from Ugrinic, who's taking the corner. Swings it in. Good defending clearance by Griffiths. There's a chance on the break, perhaps for a Dwyer. Now here's Ronaldo. He's got a lot of pace, but Dahl comes across. Play on, says the referee, as it breaks loose here for Timotheo. Good switch to the far side to Demoski. Swings it into the near post, and Dwyer can't get there, but Gungahlin will settle for the corner, and a nice counter-attack.
Yeah, very, very quick in transition. That caught Belconnen napping a little bit. From a set piece where they would look to have put a little bit more pressure on the back four and the Gungahlin defence, have ended up conceding a chance themselves.
Well, Ronaldo's down injured in midfield. I think that was from the challenge that came in just after he spread the ball wide here, and probably would have been called out for a free kick if the break hadn't been on.
Yeah, well, I thought perhaps if it was bad enough that he might have sanctioned Cam Reinhardt, who looked to go in a little late, but he seems to have got away with it.
It's a corner for Gungahlin. Some treatment for Ronaldo.
One of the real strengths in this Gungahlin side is the pace that they've got when they go forward, and you saw a great example of it then.
Good switch from Timotheo as well to find Mishko Namoski, who's been around Premier League in Canberra for a long time now.
Yeah, quality player, Mish. He had a couple of years at Belconnen where he did really well. Everywhere he's gone, he's managed to get himself regularly on the score sheet, and he's always in the starting 11, so you've got to give the boy credit.
So the first corner of the afternoon, a chance perhaps for Gungahlin to flood some numbers into the box. There is 5 black shirts floating around in there, and that's swung in towards Durack, who plucks that out of the sky. Nicely taken by the goalkeeper. A little bit too close for him. He'll look to get the Blue Devils on the attack. It's a bit of a wayward kick clearance and easily brought down.
Yeah, not a clever tactic when Jason Greenwich's the boy that's only up front. I mean, if you've got a Barrage up there or something like that, maybe go long, but Jason Greenwich is really somebody that runs off the likes of Barrage.
Griffiths finds Green. No press from Belconnen, so Jack Green can bring it forward. Instead, he has to go back, though. There's no real movement for him. Well, they're back to Denham in goal. Griffiths again, exchanging passes with the keeper. Nice and patient from Gungahlin. Green looking for the run of Ronaldo, and well eased off it there at the back by Isaac Clements, but they're still coming. And here's Obst, and he gives it away, and Dahl steps away from the challenge but runs into a second one, and Green just pops that one over the top looking for the run of Nomoski. He bundles Harry Williams out the way and then goes down clutching his face, but nothing in that, Steve.
No, I think if anything accidental. But Belconnen are trying to keep a very high line, and Jack Green stepping out from the back forward, brilliant with his left peg. If they're not careful, he'll pick something out.
Reinhardt for Clements. His pass aimed for Habtemariam, but that's overhit.
Yeah, a little ambitious. A little ambitious.
Nice start to the season for your boys then, Steve. They'd have been very happy with their victory today.
They were delighted with themselves, yeah. They actually played quite well. I mean, scored some good goals. I mean, obviously 7-0 suggests the opposition might have been a little weaker than us, but it was only 2-0 at half-time. And Gungahlin gave as good as they got, certainly for the first half an hour, and then we just ran away with it.
Yeah, Gungahlin Junior is usually pretty good at those levels. I'm sure plenty of a long season for them as well. So here's Rathjen to Nomovsky. The flag goes up, offside against the winger.
And once again, we see the outball diagonal, trying to get in behind the fullbacks. And Phil Bridgeau has just been caught a little on his heels.
Yeah, in that right back position. Early days here live on Bar TV Sports. NPL football from Canberra. Belconnen United 0, Gungahlin United 0. Sven Jurak sends a free kick forward looking for Barak. Beats Green in the air, but Rathjen's there to tidy up. Finding Nomoski. Nice little exchange of passes as well, but well read by Williams. Now here's a chance perhaps, but Rains' through ball was well read. And Ronaldo thought about it.
Yeah.
The flag stayed. Probably would have gone out, Paddy.
I think it would. I think they caught him offside, but certainly they played for it. But Marty Rains had the opportunity then to play Barach in. That's a great touch.
Here's Reinhardt to Barach. Danny Barak taking on Griffiths. Still going as well.
Oh.
Still going. Second attempts come back for Habtemariam, who could strike this, but it's well blocked, and the midfielder picks it up again. Reinhardt to Rains, looks to turn his marker. It's going to fall through here for Barak, and he fires it over the crossbar. Snapshot. Another chance though for the number 9.
Yeah, and I think he had Denham beaten, and then he was going the wrong way. Denham, and the near post was left vacant, but he's not got it on target. Great football from Belconnen in the final third, though.
It's been a good game so far, nice and open. Griffiths has had more touches than anyone so far, the young central defender. Timotheo. Griffiths again. Timotheo once more. Well, nutmeg on Habtemariam. Finds Obst. Can't repeat the feat on Reinhardt. And here goes Habtemariam, and he tried to find Barrett. He's getting in between the two central defenders.
Absolutely, but the pass is just under hit, and it's going to cost him in transition here.
Well, Rathjen looking for Nomoski. Running in towards the edge of the penalty. Misko Nomoski in towards Bangura. Now O'Dwyer. Bangura again. Brilliant football. And it clipped the outside of the post. Gungahlin nearly taking the lead. Wonderful 1-2 from O'Dwyer and Bangura, and the midfielder denied by the upright.
Yeah, but it's the transition, the speed of transition from Gungahlin that's got Belconnen in a dither. They've really got to come to grips with that. I mean, it's all right being attractive in the final third, but you've got to be able to keep the back door shut, and at the moment it's not.
There's no one tracking the runners as they're coming through, and opportunities. Barak beats Green again. Rains will get on his bike after this. Griffiths needs to be careful and does just enough. Good piece of defensive work again from Griffiths.
Yeah.
Dwyer. Now Obst. Bangura. And Rathjen. Gungahlin coming to grips with the midfield. Obst just nudged off it, and that's a free kick according to Gareth Biggs. Just a little nudge in the back, a little bit soft, but
it's in a good position for Gungahlin. See what they've got.
Well, Nomoski's over there. It says Anthony Timotheo wandering across. Both have got good delivery. wouldn't say there's a huge amount of aerial threat outside the obvious of Jack Green and Jason O'Dwyer.
Well, it's been standard operating procedure that from areas like this, if they're not shooting, they're looking for Jack Green. So Belconnen, if they've done the homework, will be aware of that.
Well, he usually gets his head on it, the big central defender. That's towards him at the far post, and he's beaten to it by Clements, and it's a corner. Obviously, Jack Green used to be here as well. Belconnen know all about that tactic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a few Belconnen boys here, actually. Nicky Rathjen played for a while here, and Jack Green, of course.
Yeah, Michael Ronaldo had a short spell.
Yeah. Jason O'Dwyer was earlier in his career was here as well, yeah. Jason Denham had a season.
They'll be looking to get a goal in the colours of Gungahlin. It's pushed away, and here's Rains. Out towards Ugrinnik. Now it's Belconnen's turn to perhaps counter. And that's well defended by Nick Rathjen, who came all the way across on the left-hand side to snuff that one out.
Yeah. Great ball from Rains into Ugrinnik.
It might be Rains' first spell here. He promised a lot, didn't he? Got injured, and Belconnen certainly missed him that year.
Yeah, well, he had a spell overseas where he went on holidays. And
well, here he is. Sorry, Steve, on the break, and a shooting chance here, and Denham saves from Ugrinnik. It comes out to Hampton Merriam, still into the penalty area. Real chance this, if he pulls it back. The opportunity's there, and it's stabbed goalwards and into the back of the net. And I think it's Daniel Barak who's got it.
I think it is, yeah. I think Daniel Barak, I mean, it was a little bit scrappy, bobbled around, didn't it? And then just a little tap in at the far post, but 1-0 Belconnen. Barak is third of 3 good chances.
They've been talking about him all week on social media as the big rig, and the big rig certainly strikes first here, sticking his toe out to divert it goalwards. A real striker's goal from Barak, and Belconnen lead 1-0.
Yeah, the move probably deserved a goal, didn't it? They did really well to get into a good attacking position, and they finished this one off.
So what have Gungahlin got in response to that? They've started brightly. Reinhardt wins it. Well, the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? The warnings were there for the first couple of chances that Barak had. He's been getting in a little bit too easily in between the two central defenders and made them pay on that occasion.
Well, Sammy Haptamariam did really well as well. I mean, it might have been a little bit fortunate it bounced back to him, but he kept composed, and he actually tried to find a pass in the penalty area. The scuff shot for Ugrinnik has landed at Barrage's feet. Goal. It still stays 1-0 on the scoreboard.
Ugrinnik will be claiming that was an assist. He saw that out the corner of his eye. Here he is trying his luck from distance. Took a deflection, I believe. It's gone out for a throw. In fact, it didn't. It was just off the side of the boot. You always say you picked him out in those situations, don't you, Steve?
Oh,
if you
yeah,
scuff on you.
Absolutely. Corner of the eye job.
Here's Ronaldo. Wins a free kick. So the first goal of the NPL season live on Bar TV Sports. First goal live.
First goal live, yeah.
Of course, I don't want to give any discredit to Tommy Paget, who got the first of the season over at Griffith. Still 1-0 there, I think. We're not hearing any different at the moment. Always a difficult place to go and get a result as well, Steve.
It is. They've struggled in the top 2 grades since they came into the competition last year, where their underage teams have done really well. And I thought perhaps, early season, at home, knowing what they've seen from the competition last year, they might be a little bit more competitive, or I'm hoping they'll be a little bit more competitive this year.
Well, we're hoping to do a live match over at Griffith sometime this season. If that comes off, you'll be able to watch it here live, of course, on Bar TV Sports. Live NPL football every week of the season. Here's Ugrinnik. Belconnen leading by 1-0. Timotheo and Griffiths. So he's left himself a bit short there, and here's a chance for Mukevski. Holds it up well. He's got Hampton Merriam running with him, but Griffiths regains possession and now finds Fletcher, and the black and white shirts can flood forward once more. James Fletcher, and that looked worse than what it was, I think, from Nick Dahl. Definitely a free kick, but...
Oh, definitely a free kick. But it's a little agricultural, the challenge. Lucky not to get a further sanction.
Got a warning from Gareth Biggs.
Yeah, young Fletcher did him like a dog's dinner.
Absolutely.
Really. Yeah.
Skinned him inside. He's got that in his locker as James Fletcher. Not much of him, but feisty little character as well.
Tenacious and
Gets
quick.
up and down the line and
had a very good year with the Centre of Excellence last year.
Good engine on him. Here's Namoski with the free kick. Left-footed, clips it in towards Jack Green on the far post, and he's beaten in the air, and it'll be out for a Gungahlin throw right by the corner flag.
Yeah, nothing startlingly adventurous about the free kicks from Gungahlin. It's get it down, play Jack Green, isn't it?
And look for the pieces.
Yeah, look for the pieces.
If he can't get a proper header on it.
He's not staying up for the throw. He's dropped back into his normal central defensive position.
It's Bangura.
I know why he went back now.
It didn't quite work out between Rathjen and Augustin Bangura. He's had perhaps Gungalin's best chance. Gets a toe on that, and it's from via Green back to Griffiths. And he goes all the way back to Jason Denham. Griffiths again. Reinhardt finds Rains. A little bit heavy on his first touch, but recovers it well and keeps going. Marty Rains and wins a free kick. A niggle at the ankle there from Jason O'Dwyer.
Yeah, it's good free kick to give away from Gungalin's point of view, because he gets another stride in, and I think Jason Ugrinnick was away.
We've looked for him there with a quick free kick, but I said Rathjen was read it, but he in fact missed the header, but it's gone out for a throw.
I think he might have done that on purpose.
You think he got the call?
Yeah.
We'll give him the benefit of the
doubt.
Give
him the benefit, yeah.
Very calm. Bangura bundled over by Dahl. That's the second foul in succession. That
I think that's a bit harsh on the boy. I think they both went for the ball. Nothing really in that.
Dahl, of course, who scored that header at this venue in the grand final last year to put Belconnen 2-0 up right on half-time. Turned out to be a crucial goal. Kept his place in the side through pre-season and done really well. Timotheo back to Griffiths. Now Fletcher. Happy to keep the ball and happy to keep the ball in their defensive third, looking for an option, but they've lost out here. Here's Rains. Now Mikiewski's after this, and Lachlan Griffiths has to come across, and Obst is under pressure from Hampton Merriam, and Gungahlin are causing their own issues here. But they finally got it away. Namoski can't bring it down. Bangura. The third free kick in succession that Dahl's conceded, and he's getting a yellow card, and not surprising. We're just hearing Steve at half-time over in Griffiths. It's now Riverina Rhinos 1, Tuggeranong United 1.
And that's the half-time result, Russ, I believe.
Yeah, so half-time over there. Unsurprisingly, though, that Dahl got a card for that.
Oh, yeah, well-deserved, well-earned. His last three involvements have all been free kicks, so you couldn't expect to get away with it much longer.
Has to be a little bit careful. We've only played 22 minutes, and he's the type of player that likes to get involved in challenges.
Yeah. But it's just looking a little like the Gungahlin back four a little disorganised. Normally you would have Jack Green and David Jenkins in there, but Jenkins is missing today through injury, and they don't look to have quite gelled just yet.
Well, Green usually is the one that dictates the play from the back, and for the first 20 minutes it's been Griffiths that's been doing most of that. Here's Obst. He's looked tidy in the first half of the first half. Wins his team a throw, which Fletcher will take. Aims for O'Dwyer. Was won by Clements, but fallen for Bangura. Bourgeot came across to win the challenge. And it's a throw to Belconnen.
Yeah, that could have gone either way too.
I feel Bourgeot needed to make that challenge though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Augustin Bangura has been lively in the middle of the park there for Gungahlin, and they're probably edging the midfield battle. Just a little bit.
Certainly since the goal they've done better. But Augustine was a player that came to sort of prominence late last season and did very well in the first grade.
Fletcher again. Gives it away to Reinhardt, who looks for Barak. And keeper,
not a bad idea either.
He wasn't going to take Fletcher for pace, was he? And he looked for the early ball.
Yeah, but I think that's what you need to do. You know, you're pinching the ball in good areas, then you want to be playing forward. Yeah, not a great ball that time, but it was the right idea.
And Fletcher and Griffiths exchanging passes again, and Peter Marzi's not getting inside the press. No need for them to do so.
No. No, they're
really pressed from the start, have they?
No. I think that's what I was saying earlier on. I think that they'll probably find that Belconnen this year are more of a counter-attacking team than they have been in the past.
Fletcher. Timotheu. Now Ronaldo. Nicely done. Bit of space for Fletcher now. Chance for him to break into the penalty area. A couple of options to pick out. He's pulled it back towards Timotheu, but Belconnen saw that coming and it's cleared again. But James Fletcher on this near side is getting a fair bit of space.
Yeah, I guess as Cam Reinhardt's got that little bit older, sometimes he just gets caught out a little bit with pace when he's up against genuine pace, and if you're getting an overload using the fullbacks, it makes it that much harder.
Griffith sweeps that wide for Rathjen, who's beaten to it by Bourgeot. If he comes,
not a good
Dahl will need to stretch. Yeah, he kept possession of the Blue Devils, even though they've had to go back to Durack to do so. He's aimed for Barak. He should win this heading duel. It's gone over his head, in fact, towards Rains, who cuts inside. Still Marty Rains, shooting chance perhaps. Instead, he tries to find Barak, who gets away from Fletcher, pulls it across the penalty area, and it's come off Griffiths for a corner. I thought Rains might have hit that.
It certainly looked like shooting opportunity was on, and good strikers do get a little bit selfish, and an opportunity to shoot, take the responsibility and see what happens.
We tried to find the goal scorer, Danny Barak, and it was his goal that's given Belconnen the lead. Ugrinik with this corner swings it in over the head of everybody on the far post, and away comes Misko Namoski.
Again caught on the transition.
It's 3 against 3 for a moment here as Obst looks to take on Reinhardt, clips it out wide, and in the end the move comes to nothing. Went for the more difficult ball.
Yeah, wasted an opportunity. Then they had Belconnen stretch and a little bit more composure and a little bit of vision. Gungahlin might have made more of that opportunity.
Green to Griffiths. No one going near him, so he finds O'Dwyer. Heavy touch from O'Dwyer, and Belconnen snap it up, and here's Habtemariam to Rains. Poor touch from Rains, and Fletcher kept it in. Gets a second chance, but he's given it away to Habtemariam. Now Rains. Switch towards Ugrinik, and it's a good ball as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass.
Here's Ugrinik. Chance to shoot left-footed, drives it in low, and Denham gets there but can't hold it. Here's a real opportunity for two, but the keeper recovered to deny Barak, who tried to squeeze it in from an acute angle.
Yeah, had Habtemariam at the back post as well. Little dink, and it's 2-0. But again, good move, Belconnen. Good break.
Looking dangerous when they get the ball to Ugrinik, and last season's top scorer, 22 goals. Tested the keeper. This one comes in towards the far post. It's going to fall for Reinhardt, left-footed. Got a fair bit on that, looking for Barak. Back towards Mukevski, shooting chance perhaps, drives it in, and another good save from Denham, diving to his left.
Great save. Good shot from Bourgeot. Caught it on the half volley, and Denham does well to get it around the post. Best chance is Belconnen.
Putting the pressure on. Swung in towards the near post. There's a header as well, and that was a real chance. It's gone wide. It was Rains who won it at the near post, and if that had been on target, it would have been 2.
Surprisingly open at the back, Gungahlin.
Well, Hicken Obst helped that on his way, and the flag is going to go up against Marco Ronaldo. Just went a little bit too early, but the threat was there again. Yeah,
and it's in behind Cam Reinhard this time. So maybe Cam has just got to look about his positioning and maybe try and keep just a little bit more conservative in his play.
They certainly identified that area as being an opportunity for them to hit back. Almost half an hour played. Belconnen lead 1-0. It's up towards Barak, the goal scorer. Griffiths beats him to it. Now Obst. And Griffiths again. Neatly done. But Reinhardt comes in with a thumping tackle and finds Rains, who was a little off balance.
Well, he should have done. He should have found Rains.
Bangura, Mukevski putting him under pressure, still going. Bangura, advantage played, and a good ball through, but he's overhit it slightly. And again, Ronaldo was away. If they could have timed the pass better.
Yeah, Belconnen's high line, leaving a lot of space in behind. Bangura did really well because he was under enormous pressure from Mukevski.
It's a dangerous game to play with someone of the pace of Michael Ronaldo.
Yes.
Griffiths, who's been incredibly consistent at the back there so far, he's had a superb game. The central defender defended it well against two more experienced strikers. Rains battling with Fletcher. Oh, that one's a little bit sore.
Why do people laugh at that?
I don't know. We shouldn't laugh. Poor James Fletcher caught one right in the unmentionables from Cam Reinhardt.
Yes. Rub his throat, he'll be better.
Runs away. He's just checking they're both still there. Reinhardt gets on with it. His reins. Goes down under the challenge. Wins a free kick.
Just on the edge of the box as well.
Dustin Wells territory if he wasn't injured.
Yeah. Dustin should be back in the week after Easter.
One of the great set-piece exponents in Canberra, Dustin Wells. Now, Jason Ugrinnik can take a mean one as well, but I think Goran Mikevski's pulled rank here and given it over to Marty Rains, in fact. Who do you fancy from here, Steve?
No, it's Mikevski.
Mikevski?
Yeah.
Direct shot at goal from this angle? Bit of pace?
No, I think he'll be looking for somebody like Clements or Brageau to get on the end of this if he can.
Both of
but
them
he'll be
there.
coming in with pace, I know that.
Well, this is always a difficult one for a goalkeeper to deal with. Here is Mikevski, swings that one in, and it's hit perhaps to Merriam, and it almost rolled through into the net. A great save again from the goalkeeper.
Absolutely, because he didn't know much about it, but from that sort of range, it's a great save, great reaction.
He saw it very late, didn't he, and got down to push it away. Incredible piece of goalkeeping. He's keeping his side in it at the moment, Jason Denham, with 3 or 4 top-notch saves. Here's Griffiths. Belconnen retreating to halfway. Again, obvious that they're happy for Gungahlin to have it back there, and the ball forward is rather wasted, and Bourgeau sees that one back to Finn Durack.
You need a lot more guile than that if you're going to beat a team that's staying as compact as Belconnen are at the moment.
Fletcher wins a header. Bangura helps it on its way. And just sent back by Clements. His reins into the area. Ballack, danger here for Gunners. Habtemarian to Ballack again, the flag's gone up. Nice interplay between Ballack and Habtemarian.
And with Reigns working his socks off again. I mean, they really are working hard in this front third, Belconnen.
I think Peter Marzi will be pretty keen, happy with what he's seen so far with his front five or so.
Yeah, and it probably is the strongest part of Belconnen's team. The front half of the pitch is really, really good.
The tactics have worked pretty well for them so far. And Griffiths has probably had 1,000 touches in this area of the field. Fletcher to Obst. Back to him again. And there's no pressure once more. They're happy to drop off.
Yeah.
Obst. Habtemarian wins it. Bit of a shirt pull, but Habtemarian's away. Looks for the run of Barak, and Green comes across to defend.
Seems to me that one of the tactics to stop Gungahlin playing is to make sure Griffiths gets the ball when they're playing out. Jack Green's had very little of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, you think if Green's in that situation, he plays a forward pass, and there he does again. Looking for Nemowski. He's got a deflection for the throw. Yeah, they seem to be happy to let them have it at the back.
Yeah. And Gungahlin, apart from the set pieces, when they've cleared set pieces and transitioned quickly, once they pinch the ball off Belconnen, they seem very, very keen to just maintain possession, and they're not going forward quickly enough to hurt Belconnen.
Here's Bangura. Dahl got a foot in.
Cleanly.
Looking at the bench today, Belconnen have Brad Waters, Mate Barasic, Lucas Maragis, Dylan Itulu and Deacon Jewell. So a very young bench for them. For Gungahlin, Jacob Wiseman, Liam Walsh, Tom Kirklick, Mikey Katsoulis and Ben Bassasilk. And again, a lot of youngsters on that bench as well. And Liam Walsh not so young these days.
No, Liam Walsh is the rapidly approaching the veteran class, but he's a good player, isn't he, Liam? Good holding midfielder. Solid
in that defensive midfielding role.
Yeah.
If it stays this way, you'd probably think we're going to see Mikey Katsoulis at some stage.
Looking forward to it, actually, because he's got a good reputation and he is electrically quick and a great finisher. So the chances are he will cause problems when and if he's introduced. Probably the same with Lucas Magoulas.
lot of pace in the youngsters on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, some real talent coming through. Really, really impressive.
What's felt very much like a season opener so far, hasn't it? It's not quite hit the heights, but both sides dusting away the cobwebs. Barak wins the header. Rains looks for Mikiewski. Green's got a lot of pace about him, though, and we'll get there first. And Mikiewski just bundles him out the way. One of the more obvious free kicks of the afternoon.
Yes. More akin to a tackle you might see at Bruce Stadium earlier this afternoon.
How good's the pitch looking today, Steve? It's looking fantastic out there.
I was actually talking to some people earlier today, and I was saying this is as good as I've seen it since the stadium was opened those many years ago. The pitch is in absolutely fantastic condition.
Certainly helping the football that we're seeing. Here's Timotheu. Dwyer. Obst. 2 men in on Obst, but he beats them both. Still going as well. Loses a boot. Wins a free kick.
It's Nicky Dahl again. He's got to be careful. Already on a yellow card. He doesn't want to be sort of letting the referee make a decision.
What have you made of Ben Obst in the first half an hour or so?
I think he's not being used enough. I think he's the sort of player that can actually, if you can get him on the ball, can create for him. But like I was saying before, they're a little bit passive in their movement forward. So that's the sort of ball they need to be playing for Obst. Win it, play him early.
Tried to flick that one over the top, but it came off of Dahl. Green. Switch to this near side, but Rains is covering.
No.
Steps out, but Fletcher got a toe in. No rush for Belconnen. 10 minutes before half-time, live on Bar TV Sports. NPL Capital Football from Canberra. Belconnen leading Gungahlin by 1-0. This man there, Daniel Barak, with the goal. Is in there with Habsa Merriam, but between them they can't get control of it, and Gungahlin can bring it away again. Griffiths. What can he do this time? Looks for Obst to help it run the corner. Here's Ronaldo after this, but across comes Bourgeot, and it's deflected into Bangira's path, and Harry Williams was alert.
Now, Harry Williams, another guy that sort of broke into the first grade at Belconnen last year. 16-year-old, doing extremely well. Picked up where he left off.
Griffiths once more. Lifts it over the top, looking for Fletcher. Flag stays down. Fletcher against Rains. Still going Fletcher. Rains gets a foot in and concedes the corner. Good piece of defensive work by the forward.
It was, but they're just dropping a little bit deeper and deeper now, Belconnen. That's inviting Gungahlin onto them. As we get closer and closer to half-time, they're sort of retreated towards their own box, and they might be better off just pressing a little higher, just to make sure Gungahlin can't create.
Well, they haven't created much in open play. What can they do from the set piece? Nomoski to take. Good one into the air, but Durek's come, he's dropped it. Green can't get there. It's fallen to Fletcher, to Ronaldo on the edge of the area, and his shot was blocked. That's the first time this afternoon that we've seen Finn Durek drop a ball.
Yeah. I mean, he clearly needs to get his handling in order. That's a slip up that he can't afford. But they got away with it. Good block from the Ronaldo strike.
If you're a Tuggeranong United fan watching this broadcast, you won't like this news. Marco Guy has been sent off in the 52nd minute. 1-1 still down in Griffith, but with over 30 minutes to go, that's a long time to be playing with 10 men.
Gives Griffith a chance, doesn't it? That get a good start to their season.
So Gaia sent off in Griffith. 1-1 Riverina and Tuggeranong. Not having much luck with their central defensive players, are they, after the Charity Shield last week?
No. Actually spoke to a couple of the Tuggeranong boys during the week, and Sean Kitty and Cam Doherty are still a couple of weeks away from playing, but they'll make a big difference to their side.
Bagira wins the midfield battle, but then loses out to Williams. Dahl helps it forward and gets it back again, and there's a runner ahead of him, and he should be onside here. And well, the angle where we were at for a minute, I thought that he'd been played on by Ronaldo. Nomoski, rather, he was on this near side. That's asking a lot of Timotheo, who does really well. Still under pressure.
Started to drop Timotheo closer to the two central defenders to try and make some space further up the park. It's working for him at the moment.
Griffiths. Should get his own sponsor, Lachlan Griffiths, the amount of times we've mentioned him today. It's Nomoski. Bangira, nicely spread wide. Opportunity perhaps for Rathjen.
Danger signs for Belconnen because they're defending really deep. Really deep.
Obston Fletcher.
They're still on the edge of their own box.
Griffiths again. Marcel, you can hear the Gungahlin bench maybe they're telling them to go forward. Looking for Fletcher. They've overhit that one. That'd be a goal kick.
Yeah, ball's too straight. Not giving the fullback much of a chance there.
As a coach, he was a young defender where Lachlan Griffiths is. When he's got that much space, would you like to see him just drive at the Belconnen midfield and maybe let Jack Green come across and cover that space that he leaves behind?
It's certainly an option, Russ. What he doesn't want to be doing is running his own space out and then running the risk of turning possession over. If he's got a player that's free, then he should be passing it earlier. But there is ample opportunity. He's got space in front of him for him to run in and commit a Belconnen player, as you suggest.
Well, one by Mukewski, who's cleaned out. Play on, says the referee. Down in a heap, his reins. And he'll come back for that free kick. Would be interesting to see, actually, Stephen. It is hypothetical. If that was Jack Green in that situation, would they give him that much time and space on the ball?
No, I think it's a tactic to let Griffiths have it. I think they're actually saying you can have it as much as you want, but Jack Green, you're not getting it.
I mean, he's very tidy with it, but he's not been able to pick a pass of any penetration so far.
No, he's just lacked a little bit of guile. He's sort of tried to hit the diagonal ball to try and find Namoski on a few occasions. He's tried to play it into O'Dwyer on occasions, but he's been a little bit, lacking in imagination, shall we say. He hasn't wasted a lot of possession, but he hasn't done a lot that's going to trouble him either.
Gordon McKeskey in a lot of pain down there. That would have winded him, that challenge.
Yeah, it might have got a rib too.
He's sucking it in. Griffiths caught him on the flick on it as a brave header, and he was always going to get clattered.
Yeah, it was a brave header, no doubt about it. But
Griffiths going over to see if he's okay. Nice to see.
Yeah, there was no malice.
Yeah, no malice at all, was there? No, it was just one of those comings together that sometimes they're worse. Chance for everyone to grab a drink, and 4 minutes before half-time. Belconnen United lead 1-0 thanks to that goal from Daniel Barak, prodding in a mishit shot from Jason Ugrinik.
And we're still 1-0 in Griffith. Tuggeranong down to 10.
Tuggeranong down to 10. So at this moment, Belconnen on the top of the table.
And they have a free kick in a really good area, so there's a chance to actually go into the sheds and double the lead.
Canberra FC and Canberra Olympic not in action this weekend. Their match that was scheduled for this weekend has been postponed to later in the season.
It actually means FC go no game this weekend at their own choice, by the way. Easter off and then the bye. So they could be 6 points behind by the time they play the first game.
I think on the schedule I've seen we may be doing their first game of the season away to Monero as well, so that'll be in round 3.
Yeah.
Just after Easter, or 2 weeks after Easter, as Rains swings that one in towards the far post, headed back across goal, but easily dealt with by Denham.
Actually think from that sort of position it's better that a left foot takes it and swings it away from the 6-yard box. Gives you a better chance to actually get some power on it.
Griffiths this time picks the right pass and finds Rathjen, and he finds Ronaldo. Now a chance perhaps for him to run for the first time this afternoon. Gets in, drills it across the 6-yard box, and it bounces. Was that Bourgeot back there covering? And was it Clements?
Clements, I think, took up a really good position at that front post to make sure that the ball couldn't get across the 6-yard box. Great defending, but a good move from Gungahlin. That's the sort of ball that if Griffiths is going to play, he needs to do on a more regular and more accurate basis.
Yeah, I think they wanted to try and get Ronaldo running at the defence a little bit more. Get their attacking players on the ball in dangerous areas. Here's Bangira. He's pushed over and wins a free kick.
Went down a little easier, but it probably was a free kick.
Yeah, Phil Bourgeot perhaps saying that to the referee. He believes that he went down a little bit too easily.
This is playing into Belconnen's hands, just going backwards from the free kick that suits them.
So Obst seem to have been in this area. If we had a heat map of the field, it would be very red right about where Lachlan Griffiths is collecting the ball right now.
He'd be red.
Swings that one out. It's a beautiful ball that time, and he knocked down towards Ronaldo, and out comes Durac. On that occasion, the ball was fantastic from the defender.
A good touch from Mickey Ronaldo. A little unfortunate that he didn't get a second touch because he probably scores.
Yeah, Rathjen just popped him in behind, and That was a real danger for a moment as we come in towards the end of the shadows of the first half. A minute plus stoppage time to go. And a couple of stoppages, so we may get a minute or two. But overall, on chances created, Belconnen probably deserve their lead.
Yeah, I mean, Gungahlin haven't done a lot. They've actually got the switch in well. They haven't created a lot. I mean, Finn hasn't had to make a decent save, I don't think. Whereas Denham has made 3 or 4 really half good chances. That's good saves.
Yeah, the only real chance of note for Gungahlin coming when Bangira and O'Dwyer swap passes. Hearing that a goal from Roy Catanzariti down in Riverina. It's 2-1 to the Rhinos over Tuggeranong on the hour. Roy Catanzariti with the goal for the Riverina Rhinos. They're 2-1 up against the 10 men of Tuggeranong. Here's Fletcher. Nanamoski. Obst.
Yukeski's really struggling with those ribs as well. Just watching him, he's holding those ribs as he moves upfield.
Yes, and he is just there again. Maybe a heavier knock than we thought. Here's Obst. Ronaldo round the channel. Couldn't get him in though. Into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Looking at the options on the bench if Goran Mukevski goes off. What are you thinking, Steve? We got Brad Waters or maybe
Brad
Marty
Waters
Barisic?
Brad Waters or Mate can actually play in midfield. Brad's a more holding midfielder. Mate had half a game with the 20 side. The logical choice, I guess, would be Brad Waters. But if it was up to me, because of where Goran's playing, I think I'd give Mate 45.
He may recover at half time, of course. He'll have 50 minutes to try and get some treatment on it.
Ooh,
here he is. Looks like he's struggling a little though. Fletcher sweeps that one to Rathjen. Bit of space for Nick Rathjen. He's forced to come backwards again though, and that must be quite frustrating for Marcel Munoz. Loads of possession in this area, but
yeah.
Here he goes. Griffiths taking a bit further forward.
That's the danger if you don't have a way out. But Belconnen oblige and turn over possession themselves.
O'Dwyer should win a free kick. Does.
It does.
Timotheo goes early. Fletcher. Space to run at Dahl, who wins the tackle.
Yeah.
Now finds Rains. Chance here. Griffiths turned his back, and that's played into Rains' hands.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Belconnen, the ball ran away from him to Obst. Bangira. He's looked lively if they can get him on the ball a little bit more often. Namoski switched to this near side. Griffiths. Bangira. Now Green. Griffiths again. Goes wide, probably a little bit later than it should have. Is Timotheo. Gets it back, and that's half time. So a lot of huff, a lot of puff from Gungahlin, not a lot of creativity in the final third, and Belconnen taking one of the 3 presentable chances that came to Barak, and probably, as you said, Steve, Denham's made a couple of good saves as well. They deserve their lead. Yeah,
I don't think either team will be particularly disappointed, nor will they be over the moon about the performances in the first half. Belconnen have created some good chances. As the half wore on, they went deeper and deeper, and that invited Gungahlin on, but Gungahlin as yet haven't made a clear-cut chance or haven't looked as threatening as they might have had they been a little bit more positive in possession.
Daniel Barak had 2 really good chances before he netted the only goal of the half, and that's the kind of striker he is. It took a while to get his eye in there, early days for him, but he's got his goal now, and you think there'll be plenty more to come from him.
Oh, I think so. I mean, he'll get better and better as the season progresses, but, you know, if you've got a striker that takes 1 in 3, you'd be happy with it, and that's what he's done so far. If you can get another one in the second half, he'll help put the game to bed.
Well, Jack Green's having a chat with his players out on the field in the centre circle, possibly explaining to them that they need to be a little bit more proactive when they've got possession. Nice to see him taking a bit of, the captain's role there and gathering his players around him. They're still in this game.
Oh, look, a long way to go. 45 minutes. Belconnen, there's 1 or 2 just looking like they're a bit tired. Mukevski's carrying a small niggle, and we don't know whether he'll come back out for the second half. So if Gungahlin can hang in there, then the last 15, 20, then they're a chance of actually getting something out of it.
Well, it's half-time here at McKellar Park in the NPL Capital Football. Belconnen United leading Gungahlin United by the only goal of the first half. We'll be back for live second half coverage in a few moments. Welcome back to McKellar Park for the second half of this NPL capital football match between Belconnen and Gungahlin. Belconnen lead 1-0 at the break. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator here live on Bar TV Sports. Joining me for the second half, as usual, is Steve Forshaw. We're hearing, Steve, over in Griffith, that 10-man Tuggeranong are back on terms. Jono Chirek has equalised with 20 minutes to play. 2-2.
Well, that's a rarity in itself. Jono Chirek doesn't get many, but Tuggeranong, obviously, with 10 men, will be thinking a point might be a good result.
Well, Tom Paget put them ahead. A brace from Roy Catanzariti had the Rhinos 2-1 up. Chirek equalising after Marco Gaia had been sent off earlier in the game. Still 20 minutes or so to play there as well. Bags of goals in Griffith. We're hoping to get some more goals here at McKellar Park, where the rain has just started to come down. A little bit of drizzle is going to make the surface nice and slick as well, Steve. And you think in the second half that Gungahlin need to be a little bit more proactive in possession? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we've talked about it off air that they're getting young Griffiths into good areas where he might be able to drive forward and create something for them. Belconnen are clearly allowing that. But they need to do more once they've got past that first line of defence and into the in between the lines, midfield and back four.
Goran Mukeski had the magic sponge at half-time. He's out there for the second half. Both teams unchanged, which means Belconnen have Jurek in goal, Bourgeot, Clements, Williams and Reinhardt across the back four, Habtemariam, Dahl and Mukeski in midfield, Rains, the goal scorer Barak and Ugrinik up front, Gungahlin with Denham in goal, Fletcher, Green, Griffiths and Rathchin their back four, Timotheo, Bangura and Obst in the midfield three, and up front Ronaldo, O'Dwyer and Naumovsky. Here's Green, now Rathchin, head down, drives forward, good ball too, getting Ronaldo in, but the flag went up against the young striker. First warning sign of the second half, though, that's a bit more direct.
Yeah.
And a bit quicker in the build-up.
Yeah, and I think that the rain will help if they are going to be a little bit more positive. So Belconnen need to be on the toes. Encouraging start from Gungahlin's point of view.
Chirac sends that one long. There's a nice rainbow across the field here at Belconnen now as well, and that's flicked on by Bangura to Naumovsky. Rathchin. Timotheo. Griffiths. Bit of pressure on him from Barak, so he has to go back to Denham. That light drizzle across the ground. Green to Bangura. Looks for Rathchin, who's got away from Bourgeot briefly, but Philippe Bourgeot comes back, and he may have conceded a corner there. He has.
But straight away from the kickoff, we can see Gungahlin trying to be a lot more positive and play forward a lot quicker.
Yeah, early stages of the second half, but the first corner and an opportunity for Timotheo to swing this one in. O'Dwyer and Green at the back post, and Griffiths has wandered forward here, so they've only left Fletcher and Obst back. They've gone short instead to Rathchin, who clips that one at a narrower angle, comes off Bangura, tries to win it back and does, away from Dahl towards the far post, and that's a good header clear by Reinhardt. And as far as Rathchin, Obst forced to go back to Fletcher by Rains. Good work from the striker. Green, and he's got no option either. The central defender works the angle nicely for Obst, who lets that one run and then tries to find Rathchin with the ball. Here he is, and now Naumovsky gives that one away. Nick Dahl, who got a yellow card in that first half. Ugrinik, a little bit of space. Now Rains might go himself here. Marty Rains still going, and it's bounced nicely for Barak. Clips it into the air towards Rains, and defensively Timotheo comes back to deal with it.
Yeah, they weren't tremendously quick to get up in support of the front players then, Belconnen, so they'll need to change that. There was a great opportunity once Barak got in behind that getting numbers in the box, they might have created a chance.
Bourgeot to Rains. Habtemariam. And all the way back to Jurek. Green heads it down. Timotheo in the battle with Habtemariam. Bourgeot lifts it over the top, and there's a header from Green. He's going to break here for Ugrinik, though. Just enough on Jack Green to get that back to Denham.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Try to just dink it in behind the back four.
His Bangura feels very open at the start of this second half. Naumovsky 4 shirts ahead of him. Here's Obst. Chance here for Ronaldo in the penalty area. Left-footed, drills it across goal. And Jurek does well to hold on to it as the ball becomes a little bit slicker with that rain. Off we go again. Reinhardt.
Game's become immediately quicker, and the rain's just moving the ball really quickly over the surface.
Bit of wind picking up as well. It's got a good feel to it this second half. Green wins it. Comes forward for the first time in the game. Jack Green still going. Still running forward. Green. Here's Namoski. Pressure building from Gungahlin. Swung into the area. Well cleared at the back by Mikeski rather. Green. Now Rathjen. Timotheu. Fletcher. Bit of space to work again for the fullback. Loves cutting inside. Gets it back from O'Dwyer. Via Bangura. And then back again to Griffiths.
Yeah, Belconnen have done okay. Keeping them going backwards. It's done okay there. But good possession. Good spell of possession for Gungahlin as well.
Timotheu to Obst. Looking to slide it through, but well read at the back by Clements. Now Dahl to Ugrinik. He's lost out, and Fletcher finds O'Dwyer. A little bit more urgency about Gungahlin at the start of this second half, but they lose possession, and that's one to chase, but it'll roll out of play, and it'll be a Blue Devils throw. 5 minutes gone in the second half, Stephen. As you say, it's already a little bit quicker than the first half, the tempo.
Yeah, and Gungahlin have certainly made the better start.
Here's Ugrinik. Barach.
Oh.
Ugrinik goes again. And just hooked away. They pick up the pieces with Reinhardt. Advancing forward, Cam Reinhardt goes for the cheeky chip. And Denham, for a moment, looked like he was struggling, but stepped back to clutch it.
Great thinking, great vision from Reinhardt, and a great save from Denham. Read it well.
Gungahlin warming a substitute up in front of us, Steve. It looks like there's going to be a change very shortly.
Yeah, young Kirklick looks like he's coming on. Interesting to see who they take off.
Yeah, young Tom Kirklick. He's going to sit back down again. Maybe there's someone carrying a knock. O'Dwyer. Reinhardt, whose chip just a few moments ago caused a little bit of panic in the Gungahlin defence. Hab to Merriam. Sweeps it wide for Rains, who can't get that under control.
That's just lazy, that. No excuse for that.
Griffiths. Timotheu. Better build up again. Fletcher. Going to let that run out for a throw-in, and we're going to get this change. Well, in fact, they've gone quicker than the substitute could get ready, and here's Fletcher. Chance to cross this into the penalty area. He's overhit that one, though. Disappointing end to that move.
Yes. Yes, got himself into a really good spot and wasted the cross.
There's Tom Kirklick coming on, and it's going to be Miško Namoski coming off. 7 minutes of the second half for Miško. He put another good shift in.
Yeah, he's done okay. He's done okay. Might not like the rain.
As you say there, Steve, he's been in Canberra for a long time. Miško, he's played in the rain once or twice before, I think. Interesting to see what young Kirklick brings to it out on this wing. Another one with bags of tricks and skill and ability. Here's Belconnen, though, with Rains. Looking for Barach, and he can't keep that in.
Just one or two players, certainly in light blue, that are just seemingly struggling a bit with the pace of the game now. And it wouldn't be long, I don't think, before Belconnen might go to the bench as well. Mikeski is still holding his ribs. Marty Rains' concentration's just lapsed a little. And young Sam Heptamariam's just struggling a little bit in the middle of the park. So any options, or many options for Belconnen if they do want to make a change.
Flicked forward by Clements. Mukevski. Clements again. Reinhardt. Steps away from Ronaldo. Caught late by the striker, who's going to see yellow for that.
Yeah, no need. They were going to win it. They're going to win it.
Bit of a silly challenge, really. Just left the boot in. Allows Belconnen to take a little bit of the sting out of it.
Yeah, little breather that they need, I think.
So proactive change from Marcel Munoz early in the second half. Reinhardt chips that up towards Reigns. It's going to break for Barach. Tries to lob, but he's got that one slightly wrong.
Had the goalkeeper worried, though.
Yeah, drifted away from target, I think.
Yeah. Just clipped the back of the net as it went over.
Green. Space for Bangura.
Yeah.
Rathjen. The ball was on to Kirkledge.
That's a bad giveaway.
It is, as Habtaman brings it forward, but Bangura wins it back again. Been impressed with him once more. Good energy from the midfielder. Fletcher. Now Obst. A little bit short with the pass and read well.
Both teams guilty of just turning over possession cheaply. No pressure. I mean, Phil Brageau, plenty of time there. Bangura, as we saw before, Abtamarium. They're just making it a little bit difficult for themselves.
Griffiths. Timotheu. Griffiths once more. O'Dwyer. Touch has let him down on a couple of occasions today, Jason O'Dwyer.
Difficult balls to bring down, though.
Got better quality than that as well, as we know.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing, at some pace and straight in, and it needs a really good touch.
Looks like we're going to see a second change as well. This is Mikey Katsoulis, who we talked about early on in the first half, and it's Michael Ronaldo who's coming off. So very similar players in terms of their pace and ability. And we're looking forward to seeing young Mikey Katsoulis take to the field. Yeah,
comes with a very, very big reputation, and we also see Mikevsky coming off as well for the Belconnen.
Yeah, this is Mate Barisic, who's replacing him.
There's another good young prospect, plays a more attacking role in midfield.
More youngsters on the field then. Both sides putting a lot of faith in youth this year. Nice touch towards Katsoulis.
It's counter what's happening in the A-League. There's an over-reliance now on experienced players in the A-League. Maybe grassroots football is the breeding ground for the younger players, and that's where they need to go. And the NPL, given that it's in every state across Australia, is ideally placed to nurture young talent.
As it probably should be at this level as well, Steve. These youngsters should be playing first-grade football if they're good enough at this age.
Yeah, absolutely. Just needs coaches to be brave enough to give them a chance.
Here's Griffiths, one of them. Spreads the play to this near side and Rathjen. And he finds Kirkledge, his first real touch of the match. Rathjen again. Twists and turns with Ugrinik on his back. He's going to get this one back again. Nice turn as well away from Bourgeau. And he can find Bangura. A little bit heavy with that touch, but does well to get it under control eventually. And then rather wasted in towards O'Dwyer, who couldn't bring that down. And Reinhardt now can find Ugrinik. There could be a trouble here, but Barach will need to get on his bike to get after that one.
Yeah. Well, they're working hard to get the ball away from the danger area, Belconnen, and Reinhardt does extremely well to find Ugrinik, and it's a poor pass.
Some big news coming in from Griffith, Steve. Riverina Rhinos reduced to 10 men as well, and very late on Edward Coggin has scored for Tuggeranong United. They lead 3-2 now. Both sides down to 10, and Eddie Coggin off the bench to score for Tuggeranong very late on.
Well, that's the sort of start that Tuggeranong would have been hoping for, and it looked a long way away early in the second half.
They've turned that one around. They were 1-0 up, 2-1 down with 10 men, and they've scored twice to give themselves an opportunity of grabbing 3 points in the first round.
Yeah, got a bit of time for young Eddie Coggin too. I think he's a decent young player.
He's been pushing for a first-grade start for a number of years now, hasn't he? And this could be the season he really steps up to the grade.
Well, he needs to. He needs a breakout year.
Corner here at McKellar, which Rains swings in the rain, and Denham comes to clutch. Too close to the big goalkeeper, who gets his team underway, rolling it out to this near side, and Kirkledge, who was running into the challenge from Dahl, who timed it well. Still plenty of time here, 32 minutes, and across came Barach. Got a challenge in on Jack Green. Those two know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
They must have.
Well, it was definitely a
Belconnen ball, Gungahlin ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to pull a fast one there, the Blue Devils. is O'Dwyer. Kirkledge. And that's a Belconnen ball as well. Right in front of us. Harry Williams doing well. Bourgeot takes. Rushed it a little bit. Here's again Timotheo looking for Katsoulis. They haven't been able to get him into the action so far, but he wins the header and chases his own ball. He's got a bit of toe as well.
Yeah, he can go. He can go.
Well read by Finn Jurek, who obviously knows him very well, to get out there early. But Gungahlin looking more threatening in the second half than they did for most of the first.
Well, I guess the 1-0 down, they've got to try and get something to get back into the game, so you would expect them to push on a little bit. But they've started really well, and in the first 15 minutes or so, arguably have been the better team. But Belconnen have defended well.
Katsoulis finds Obst, here's a chance perhaps for Fletcher to swing it across the penalty area, and it's cleared by Clements. It's back to Fletcher again though, drops a shoulder, gets in, goes past one, and that's a fantastic tackle from Cam Reinhardt, showing all his experience to win that one.
That's such a good tackle. I mean, that's a goal-saving tackle, that one.
But they're looking more dangerous.
Yes, they are.
The youngsters really settled into this one.
Well, they just the boss in the midfield now, and I think Belconnen needs to change personnel or go to a 4.
There doesn't seem to be any more movement on the bench at the moment. This corner will be swung in. Try to keep it away from Jurek, up towards Green, who didn't quite win the header. It's chested clear by Ugrinic. And here's Rains, who gets the free kick.
A good referee, and I know Belconnen are a bit upset he hasn't played the advantage, but there wasn't one. The referee did really well.
I think I was doing a disservice to the to Barisic there. I think he won that one on the edge of the area. Belconnen in no hurry. Half an hour to go, live on Bar TV Sports, NPL Capital Football. Belconnen leading Gungahlin 1-0 at McKellar Park. Cam Reinhardt behind this free kick, looking for Balac, who wins the header, but it bounces off Green and comes to a Gungahlin shirt. Here's Fletcher once more. Katsoulis.
Good again from Reinhardt. They're picking up a lot of second ball now, Gungahlin.
It looks quite lively, Katsoulis. If they can get him into a channel or two down the back there, it could be trouble for Reinhardt.
Absolutely. Wily old fox there.
His dart. A little bit short. Bangura's in there and is tripped, and this should be a card. A yellow one, I would have thought. Nothing more than that.
No. Well, he's a long way from goal, but it's just sloppy changeovers that are costing them dearly, and Gungahlin are coming on strong now.
Well, Harry Williams becomes the second Belconnen player to receive a yellow card as the wind picks up around McKellar. The rain comes in behind us. And a free kick, perhaps opportunity for O'Dwyer to have a shot from distance. It's a fair way out. Referee Gareth Biggs getting the wall back.
Yeah, I think he'll be having a strike there.
Yeah, left-footed. We did talk about he's got the ability that he does have. Here is Jason O'Dwyer. Talked him up a bit too much. Gets it back second effort and kicks it straight into Bangura, who clears it for him. Not quite what they wanted.
No, I think he tried to go under the wall. He must have expected it to jump, but he's tried to go under. Didn't hit it hard enough. Wasn't accurate enough. Danger over.
So 1-0 here, McKellar. If you didn't hear, Tuggerong 3-2 up in the Riverina.
Oh.
Towering header in the middle of the park by Barisic. The wrong way, unfortunately for him. Here's Katsoulis. Bit of space to run into the penalty area. Mikey Katsoulis fires it across goal. Good save, Jurek. It's going to fall for Bangura, and it's brilliantly blocked by Bourgeot. And Habtemariam helps the clearance on its way, but it will come straight back through Fletcher. Katsoulis once more. Fletcher. Habtemariam blocks it this time, and the whistle's gone, and there's an injury to Finn Jurek, who may be a bit of cramp, or he's pulled something there. But that was a teasing ball across from Katsoulis, wasn't it? A lot of pace
absolutely.
On it, and what a vital block from Bourgeot.
It was, and it came at such pace that Jurek only had to get a bit on it to sort of change its direction, and it gets it away from danger. But it fell invitingly to Bangura, whose strike was a good one on the turn, and Bourgeot did what defenders should do, put his body on the line.
Well, I'm not sure what Jurek's done, but Deacon Jewell, the young goalkeeper, is kitting himself up ready just in case. It'd be a baptism of fire for the youngster, wouldn't it, to be thrown in at this stage?
Yeah, this will be a body blow for Belconnen if Finn Jura can't continue.
Well, he went down straight away, didn't he? And he was clutching the back of his leg. So whether it was a hamstring that went when he was pulling across, when he was diving across to push away, or whether it was just a cramp that set in,
I don't know.
Hopefully for him it was the latter.
They seem to be working on his upper body a little bit.
Can't really see from where we are exactly what's going on. But he's definitely getting some treatment. Bending his knee, maybe it's his back or lower back or something like that. He's bending his knee up as well. So either way, it was a sore one.
Yeah,
gives us a chance just to talk a little bit, Steve, about how the second half's panned out at the moment. Belconnen happy to sit off, maybe protect that 1-0 lead a little bit, but Gungahlin looking more threatening than they have done.
Yes, I agree. I think, I'm not sure if they're happy to sit off, but they're happy that sitting off has worked for them. I think they're being forced into being on the back foot by a Gungahlin side that's got a complete change of focus as they come out from half-time. They've been positive in possession. They've tried to get in behind both fullbacks. They've introduced pace on both sides of the front three. And it's causing Belconnen all sorts of problems, particularly down to Belconnen left. Longer
term, Steve, this kind of strategy that they're playing, whether if it is a tactic for the season, how is this going to work against sides that have perhaps a little bit more penetration when they have the ball? Would you give a side like a Canberra Olympic, for say, as much time and space in this third?
Well, you know, it is horses for courses, and you'll adopt your tactics accordingly. But I think if Belconnen are going to play against football sides that are well organised, well structured, know what they're doing when they're going forward and sitting off as deep as they have, they'll be inviting problems. Whether they get better at what they're doing and can defend against those better sides, only time will tell. But I think at the moment it's a tactic that they employed in the first half to good effect. In the second half, I think they're having to defend rather than by choice.
A few players obviously still to come into this Belconnen team as well, which may help that. Finn Durak's okay after a bit of treatment. Full time down in Griffith. It's Riverina Rhinos 2, Tuggeranong United 3. So a good start to the season for Tuggeranong United, and their new coach Mitch Stevens, who was formerly coach of this Gungahlin team. Yeah, Mitch will be delighted. I mean, they obviously had the preliminary last week when they played in the Charity Shield against Olympic, where they didn't disgrace themselves, and they've gone away, tough fixture, and come away with 3 points. With both sides reduced to 10 men. Here's Rathjen, gets pushed over by Dahl. Now, booked in the first half, Nick Dahl. Possibly on the last warning, you'd think. Yes, and once again, a completely unnecessary free kick. I mean, Belconnen were going to win. He's just not aware of what's going on around him. Fletcher to Obst. Green. Griffiths. They're having to go back to Denham to start again. Haven't been afraid to do that this evening, have Gungahlin. Griffiths again looks for that crossfield ball, which he's hit a few times today. Bangura wins the header. O'Dwyer wins the second header, and Bourgeot wins the third. Obst breaks for Barasic. Yeah, wasted. Couldn't find the through ball to Baraj. Yeah, he saw it, just didn't execute. Obst. Now Kirklich to Rathjen. That's a good ball round the back, and Katsoulis has made the run. He's got goal side, goes down under the challenge, and referee Gath Biggs says no. Big call. I think he's got it right, though. I know you think I'm biased, but I think he got it right. I think Williams had front position and defended quite well. There's a coming together of two players. It's an opportunity. Katsoulis made a fantastic run. There's a good ball to find him. Yeah, yep. But that's the sort of penetration that this boy can bring, and it's a sort of move that Gungahlin need more of. The referee was well placed as well to make the call. Bangura and Habtemariam challenge. Sent forward, but Green sees this one away. No real complaints from either side about that decision either, Steve. I think the referee got it right. Yeah. I'd stand corrected, but I think he got it right. He was decisive with it. Yeah. And he was well positioned too. Saw it all the way. But there's at the moment there's only one team in it. Gungahlin completely dominating play. Green sweeps it to this near side. Kirklich needed to bring that under his spell. It skips off this surface here, and there's a slight gradient on this field, isn't there, Steve? You don't really see it from up here, but when you get down on the field.
Yeah, it bows in the middle. It's a bowl sort of thing, and it helps with the drainage, but it doesn't help with balls that are skipping away from you.
Well, thunder and lightning now flashing around, making it a bit more dramatic for you watching at home. It's nice and humid this afternoon, wasn't it, Stephen? Now the sun was out, and now the rains come in, the winds come in, and we've got a bit of thunder and lightning as well. All adding to the drama of the opening day of the season.
The tension, Russ.
We've got many more weeks of this to come, Steve. And we love it, don't we?
Absolutely. What else would you do on a Saturday afternoon? Evening?
I'm too old to go out these days.
Not allowed to go out these days.
It's Bourgeot. Chips that one towards Ugrinik, who brings it down. Barisic. And swept forward by Clements, looking for Rains. Still wants to work, does Marty Rains, and take on his man in towards Barac. Nicely done, but the return pass was a little bit short. And now Timotheo can switch it to this near side. A delicious looking ball towards Kirkledge. Bourgeot's with him now. Obbs, chance here. He's overrun it slightly, Ben Obbs, but he's got the bounce of the ball, and this needs to be defended well, and it is by Isaac Clements. Just overrun it slightly, otherwise they were in. Yeah,
they were, but great cover from Clements. Good move again by Gungahlin. They really are the better team in this second half, and if they can get Consoulis and Kirkledge into good areas in the front third, they're a chance of getting something back.
Yep. I wouldn't be churlish to say that they probably deserve an equaliser based on what they've done so far.
Second half, they haven't created a lot, but they've certainly dominated play. And Belconnen scrambling defence has been excellent.
Yeah, Harry Williams won that one. He's done well at central defence.
Yeah, he's done really well. Good cover. They're actually working hard to actually provide that cover for each other, but they need to. They're under the pump here.
Short corner, Timotheo. Easily goes past Bourgeot. Chips it towards the far post, and Durac fully recovered from his minor knock. He's limping slightly, though.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah, it is going to hurt. He sent that way, way, way into the sky, and Ugrinik volleys it onwards towards Rains, and it's back to Ugrinik, and that's beautifully done. And that's well defended by Obst, but Ugrinik still has the ball. Barisic. Hampton Merriam.
That's a strike.
Barac. The match winner so far. That's taken a deflection and will be a corner.
First bit of football Belconnen have played this half, and they've got themselves a reward, got themselves a corner. As Obst goes down with a little bit of a niggle.
Not surprised if he's getting a little bit of cramp there, because he's worked really, really hard. We're going to see Liam Walsh at some stage, well, very shortly, and probably for Ben Obst, who's hobbling off to our right, just out of picture there, and Liam Walsh is coming on.
Yeah, it looks like a touch of cramp for Obst. Liam Walsh, the granddaddy of the team, comes in, and he'll sit in the holding role in midfield for him.
Drops right into that role, picks up Nick Dahl. That one's swung in towards Dahl. It's one in the air by Green. Falls onto the edge of the box. The shot comes in from Barisic, but he never really caught hold of that one and scuffs it wide. So they'll lose a little bit of dynamism going forward with Obst going off, but Walsh will sit and calmly take any possession, maybe free Timotheo to go a little bit forward into a more attacking role.
I should imagine so. Straight away he's into the game and picking out a pass that has failed to control. But he's not going to be the creative influence that Obst is. But like you say, Timotheo might just fill that role for them.
Well, that's going to break for Hampton Merriam, but Green's there first. Sends it up into the night sky. Dwyer's underneath it. Beaten in the air by Clements. Here's Bourgeot. Williams. Now Ugrinik, and you can't keep that in.
Yeah, right idea again. Unlucky.
17 minutes to go. Still 1-0. Still that goal from Dani Barac in the first half.
I think it's actually worthwhile changing one of the two wide guys now for Belconnen. Young Lucas on. I think a little bit of pace, natural left footer. Might just be what they need.
Bourgeot plays that off of Kirkledge. Wins a throw for his team right on halfway.
So we're about half an hour in, and still 1-0 for Belconnen.
Yeah, everyone that was on that far side has bravely decided to come under the under the main stand, as that thunder and lightning still echoes around the ground. Is Bangura. Nice turn. Looks to slide in Katsoulis. Now, he's got pace, but that's just overhit, and Durack comes and sends it back from whence it came. Green to Walsh. Lots of space for Walsh. Now Fletcher and Timotheo combining. And he tries to slide O'Dwyer in between the defence, but O'Dwyer didn't really pick the run, I don't think. But Williams, under pressure from Durack's rollout, didn't do him many favours there, did he?
No, I think that's partly down to the injury where he can't sort of go long every time, so he's tried to find young Gary Williams and he's put him under a little bit of pressure.
Griffiths. Now Fletcher on halfway. Nicely turned by Kirkledge. Off he goes and finds Fletcher. There's runners in the penalty area. Dwyer's in there as well. Chip towards the far post. So Dwyer goes in, but Durack comes to claim again. Promising much, but the final delivery not quite there for Gungahlin at the moment.
Yeah, that's what's missing from it, isn't it?
Here's Hugh Greenett.
Switch it.
Lovely switch out towards the far side, towards Balach. Well won by Griffiths, only as far as Habtemarian though. He's got a bit of space in which to work here, Samuel Habtemarian. But a bit tentative in his approach, and the final ball was poor.
Well, they're really stretched, aren't they, in the Belconnen now? When they turn over possession like that, they get... The midfield seems to be all over the place.
Yeah, the back four is still very flat and deep.
Yeah.
And there's not much gap, or there's a huge gap rather in midfield. Walsh sweeps it towards Katsoulis. Now, will he fancy a run? Mikey Katsoulis sends in Bangura. Still there, Bangura now gets bundled over, and that's a free kick. Bourgeot making the foul, and the pressure starting to build with 15 minutes to go. Lucas Morages is warming up in front of us here.
Yeah, I think this is a good change. They'll be changing somebody on the print. Marty Rain, Jason Ugrinnick maybe. Just struggling a little bit, the pair of them.
Well, he won't be on just yet, will he? Because they're defending this free kick, and this is a real chance for Gungahlin to put some pressure on a goalkeeper who may be semi-injured. Timotheo over the dead ball, whips that one in, and it's headed clear by Reinhardt, probably the smallest man on the field. Walsh drives one back in. It's going to break for Bangura. He tries his luck, and he's blocked by Dahl. Walsh again. O'Dwyer helps it on his way. Chance for Katsoulis in the area. Still Mikey Katsoulis. Clipped towards the far post. A header from Green, and they can't get enough on it. And that was dangerous.
It was.
Thought Katsoulis might have pulled the trigger. And at the other end, Fletcher under pressure. Think Katsoulis should have shot?
Well, it was certainly an option. I mean, he's kept possession. He's found a pass. They've got a ball into the back. But Reinhardt has just done enough to stop Jack Green getting the free header. It's amazing that the little man can battle it out in the air with such a big fella.
Strong vertical leap, Cam Reinhardt. His space for Timotheo. Slides in O'Dwyer, and he probably should have taken that on himself. Tried to turn the ball around the corner for Katsoulis, and he knows it, head in hands. But they're getting over in far too easily at the moment, Steve, for Peter Marzi and Belconnen's liking.
Yeah. This 1-0 lead is looking decidedly thin at the moment.
And that's a huge kick downfield, looking towards Ugrinnick, who's in here, and Green has to be alert.
They're just not getting out quick enough. They're just going long and hoping for the best, and the ball's just coming back.
Because the back four is so deep at the moment. And they can use as much space as they want in the middle of this park. And here's Bangura doing just that. Rathjen. Belconnen's spread here. Katsoulis. Bangura again. Running at Williams. And Williams does well to stand up and concede the corner, but the pressure is mounting. And this is a double change, is it, perhaps?
Yeah, possibly.
For Belconnen. Number 16 coming on is Lucas Morages, and number 4 is Brad Waters. Morages a forward, Waters a midfielder.
Wow. I think this is a little bit of caution here, taking Nicky Dahl off because of the yellow card. And Marty Rains is just struggling a little bit, I think, with the last 10 minutes or so. He's just got a bit tired. So, good changes Good changes, although Nicky Dahl for Brad is a little bit of a risk.
More youngsters again, Steve.
Yeah, fantastic.
Opportunities for them to show what they've got in the NPL here in Canberra. Two of them coming on, defending this corner, swung in towards the far post. So Dwyer went up. It's bouncing around in that penalty area, and it's half cleared as far as Walsh, who tried his luck, and that's well blocked by Badach, who's defending up the other end. Fletcher swings it in. Great looking ball. Real chance here! And the header came in from Jack Green. And if anybody else would have been on the end of that, you would have thought it would have been no chance at all. But Green, what an opportunity he's wasted.
You would have put your house on that in the back of the net, and that's the first real quality cross Fletcher's got in the second half, and it was pinpoint.
There was 3 black shirts lining up in that area, and not one blue shirt near him, Steve.
And it's the sort of chance that you rue.
Now that's swung in towards Mirages, who runs after it, and he's going to have to track back here, and that's a poor throw out from Denham. Barisic
won the throw. He's done well.
He has.
But Denham needs a little bit more composure than that. He's just put his team under unnecessary pressure with a poor throw.
Bourgeot finds Barisic. Now Mirages, left-footed, strikes one from distance, and that was dipping as well. Straight down the throat of Denham, but nice to see the ambition.
Yeah, and he is naturally left-footed. And he's got hold of that, and within the first couple of seconds of his being on, he's got into the box and he's had a shot. So good change by Pete Marsers. Fresh legs make a big difference, don't they?
Well, especially with 10 minutes or so to go here at McKellar. Here's your Grinick. Habtemariam trying to keep the ball. It's back to Williams. Now Bourgeot. Good challenge from Bangura, and it breaks for Kirkledge. Still going, Tom Kirkledge. Still going, and the ball was won back.
It's a great tackle.
And there's Barisic, I think he was, who won it. Sends it down the other end of the field. Gungahlin can't score from there. Here's Green, who's perhaps had their best chance.
Certainly the best chance of the second half.
Griffiths. Now Fletcher. Can he deliver again like he did before?
Just getting out way too easy now.
Walsh. Green. Rathjen in a little bit of space. Walsh in a lot. Clips it towards Fletcher, who's got away again defensively. If he can keep this in, and could be an opportunity for him to run once more at Reinhardt. Still going Fletcher. Walsh.
It's Barrach back there, I think, defending.
And that's just smashed away as a lightning flashes in the background. And Belconnen being forced ever deeper is Reinhardt. And with Barrach back there, they're helping out in the defence. There's no outball at the moment. No,
and it's they need to keep some possession now to just take the sting out of Gungahlin, and at the moment they're not able to do it. It's coming back as soon as it goes forward.
Here's Green. Kirkledge. Nice switch. Now Fletcher. Chance again to advance forward. James Fletcher skips past Reinhardt. Goes past Habtemariam. Still going Fletcher. Pulls it across the face of goal, and defending back there was Zamaragis, who's just come on. Griffiths. Gunners applying the pressure as a free kick as well. And there's a card. Left his foot in, no doubt about that one, Steve.
No. Barisic goes into the book. Late tackle, a little bit high as well, I think. But it does break play up, and it might be the breather that Belconnen were looking for.
Chance for Gungahlin to flood the penalty area with shirts again. Green went close not long ago. Obvious target, as we've said throughout this game, on the far post, and that's where it's aimed. And he tried to get up, but the whistle's gone. A little bit of pushing and shoving. It's always frustrating, those ones, for an attacking side, Steve.
Yeah. You get opportunities, don't you, to try, and you're 1-0 down. You're looking to try and get the ball into the penalty area, and a stupid free kick's given away.
Green. Well won by Miragis. Runs into Rathjen. He's had a good stint left back today.
Yeah, he's done well.
Here's Bangura. Walsh. O'Dwyer's after this, wins the header. Cleared in the middle. And then well worked by the Blue Devils. Miragis. Walsh comes across. Miragis is away from him. Men over on the far post if you can find them, but it's been picked off by Griffiths, who finds Rathjen. Tries to lift it over the top, and that's going to be easily dealt with by Clements. Need to be a little bit cleverer in the final third than that. Fletcher. Nice looking ball for Timotheou. Opportunity here if they fire this one across the goal, and no black and white shirt was coming in, and there was a little shove by O'Dwyer, but warning signs again.
Yeah, just not strong enough in the middle of the park to actually hold on to possession. Sam Habtemarian is just struggling a little bit. He's finding this a little bit harder than he's used to. Front three aren't working hard enough to actually help him defend, certainly on the Belconnen left.
Green with a towering header.
And that's not to take anything away from Gungahlin, who played really well second half.
5 minutes to go, live on Bar TV Sports. NPL Capital Football, Belconnen leading Gungahlin by 1-0. Scored in the first half by Daniel Barach, the big rig. Here's a chance for Belconnen to add a second, but Green reads the cross and can bring it away to Fletcher, who looks for Katsoulis. He's after this Katsoulis, and Durek's read it, and well, he's given himself a bit of trouble here, Finn Durek, but in the end
done very well.
Shielded the ball out of play.
Just a few more grey hairs for the coaching staff. Seems to be recovered from the knock.
I'm interested to know exactly what happened to him, whether he just overstretched his knee or something, and one of those loose knees when you sometimes flicked on by Katsoulis. Seems to be okay. The Flying Finn, they call him.
Flying Finn and the big rig.
The big rig.
It's a 70s record album.
I'm not sure that's officially Daniel Barach's nickname, but that's what they've been calling him this week on my social media chat.
Right.
They asked us if we could get in. Well, we did. Green. Looking for a runner. Rathjen was the willing runner, but it's going to be easily picked up by Durek. Coming into the final 3 minutes plus stoppage time. Again, we'll have a few minutes of that, I would imagine. No fourth official to tell us, unfortunately.
Certainly, Durek was down for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah. Kirklich is fouled in the middle of the park by Brad Waters.
Unusual
like he won
decision.
The header.
Yeah. And just
it looked like Kirklich made it back for him in that situation.
Absolutely. Just went over the top of him. Couldn't see the free kick myself, but the referee's a lot closer than me.
And we get on with it. And that's definitely a free kick, that one.
No argument there.
Fletcher's been brought down and he wants to get on with it quickly. Finds Katsoulis, who's looked very lively since he's come on.
Yeah.
Should be pushing for a start, I think, next week or the week after. Easter break next week. I think next week we will be at Greenway, or the week after, I should say. Tuggeranong versus Tigers.
It's body weight and Easter eggs next weekend, isn't it?
And then run it all off, standing in the back of the stand there at Greenway. It's going to be cold there for sure.
Oh, it's always cold there.
That one's overhit, out for a throw. So time running out on Gungahlin United. Marcel Munoz, his new look team, is 1-0 down. They've pushed for an equaliser in this second half. Probably had the better of it. Here's Barach, whose goal separates the sides. Fletcher concedes a free kick. Opportunity for Belconnen to send some numbers forward if they want to. They'll obviously keep a fair few back there. There's no need for them to score again.
I mean, 1-0 gives them 3 points, so they won't be taking too many risks with this, I wouldn't have thought.
Reinhardt's behind it. Look to swing it into the penalty area. He does indeed, and Denham is easy going to catch that. Looks to get Bangura away. tried the little flick and it almost came off for him, but Bourgeot read that, and Habtemariam finds Mouragis. Habtemariam once more. Mouragis, a little bit too tight for the 1-2s, and that's beautifully done by Bangura. Now here's a chance for Kirkledge. Waters comes back to defend and did enough to put him off.
Yeah. The substitutes have actually done well for Belconnen. They've actually just freshened it up a little bit for them. And in the last 4 or 5 minutes, Gungahlin just seems to have run out of ideas.
Well, we're into the final minute. Here's Rathjen. Needs to be getting that one forward, really, at this stage of the game. Denham will try to do that via Griffiths. Off he goes. Bounces around. It's helped on its way towards O'Dwyer. Williams put him under pressure. And that's left-footed, thumped forward. Anywhere will do right now. It was Waters, I think, who cleared that. Here come Gungahlin again. Green. Bangura. Picked out by Bourgeot, who's been very, very good at right fullback. As I said that, he gives it away.
It's a tight-looking pass, that one, but he's worked really hard up and down the park.
Really, he's been made to, hasn't he, by the forward running of the Gungahlin players. The latest of which was Tom Kirkledge, who's taking this throw. One in the middle of the field by Waters. He's got a bit of control of that midfield since he's come on, Brad Waters.
The fresh legs have made a big difference.
Green picks the pocket of Barrage, who in turn is robbed by Mouragis, who loses out to Rathjen. All very civil after you, that was. Fletcher. One of the last chances they'll have today. Timotheu skips it away to Fletcher. Chance again, clips into the penalty. O'Dwyer's not going to get there. It bounces out. Real chance for Kirkledge. Couldn't get it under control, and in the end it's a free kick, and he probably should have hit that first time.
But Phil Bourgeot does well for Belconnen there. Keeps them in the game. Keeps the 1-0 lead intact. Gungahlin squandering an opportunity, there is no doubt about it. The first time shot was definitely on.
Did O'Dwyer's leap maybe force Kirkledge to lose sight of the ball?
Possibly, but you're in the penalty area for a reason.
Is that the last chance they'll get? We are into stoppage time. Green flicks it backwards. Griffiths finds Rathjen. He'll be in a hurry to get this one forward, you would think. Again, Fletcher's the outball, and again, there's no cover out there. Whoever's on the left-hand side of that midfield has gone missing the last 5 minutes. That's beautifully read at the back, and off come Belconnen. Barach through the middle. He's got a run of this side. Mouragis is with him. Barach still going down in the area. No going. No penalty, says Gareth Biggs.
Yeah.
Coming together of bodies again, that one.
I think he was looking for it. There might have been contact there, but not significant enough to give a penalty. So
possibly went down a little bit too easily.
Yeah, I mean that looked like.
If he could have shifted that ball there was a chance for Lucas Mouragis. Now what's going on here? Well, there's a player down in backfield.
Oh, it's a cramp. Yeah, I think
that was the
option.
If he could have just
rolled it into his path,
helped it on its way.
The young boy might have just put the game to bed. But nonetheless, it's a great break from Belconnen.
And they've got themselves a corner, and this is where they want to be at this end of the field, at this stage of the game. They'll go short, leading by 1-0. The goal scorer, Barach, has it in the corner. Still going. Let run by Mouragis to Barisic, who hits it. Denham can't hold it. And I think it came off his head and out for a corner. Barisic win for placement rather than power.
If you were 2-0 up, you'd say it was a good save. 1-0 down, and you want him to hold on to that.
I think he kept it out with his face.
Yeah. He seemed to go down in instalments there, didn't he?
It's a big unit, Jason Denham rather, but he gets down very quickly.
He's a good goalkeeper.
Made some outstanding saves in the first half to keep his team in it. Haven't been able to reward him with an equaliser yet. There may be time for one more Gungahlin break after this corner. Seconds definitely ticking away though. Swung into the penalty. Only one blue shirt in there. That was Barach, and he was easily beaten by the 3 Gungahlin defenders. Bourgeot. Nicely done. Barisic swings it towards the far post. Barach wins a header, but can't direct that on target. Would have been asking a lot to score from there.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff will be saying to Matt Barisic, let's not go in there that early, let's just keep it, play in the corners, see the game out.
Which is where Cameron Reinhardt is headed right now, into the corner. Fletcher's back with him. Bit of role reversal here for the first time for a while that Fletcher's had to defend Reinhardt.
Yeah. But that's all the experience in the world, isn't it? He's got it, he's composed, and he's won his team a corner as well. And I'm sure this will be short.
Yep, there's not really many targets in the penalty area. Daniel Barach is in there. Defender will probably go in there at some stage. You think Clements is... I thought... No, he's not gone forward. Well, they've gone short, but they've lost it. And off come Gungahlin. Last opportunity, perhaps. Williams read that. Sends it out of play. And referee Gareth Biggs says that's enough for today. And Steve, Belconnen United had to put in a shift to get the 3 points there. Gungahlin will be a little bit disappointed they come away empty-handed.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary, Russ. I think certainly the second half belonged to the visitors, Gungahlin, but Belconnen have to take 10 out of 10 for the way they've defended when they've needed bodies on the line and blocks. And realistically, Finn Durack hasn't had a decent save to make, although he's been commanding in and around his penalty area. First half was probably where the game was won from Belconnen's point of view, where they've actually taken the lead and probably created more than enough chances to have put the game to bed. But at the second half they were under the pump and they'll be delighted with the start they've had. All
the chances coming in that first half really for Belconnen, and some great saves from Denham, in particular one from Samuel Habtemariam rather. Bounced off his legs, didn't know a lot about it, but a great save to get down and claw it around the post. But the goal which won it was preventable from Gungahlin's point of view, and a bit lucky. Jason Ugrinnick's mishit shot turned in by Daniel Barach from close range. Yeah, and it's funny how things like that occur, isn't it? In a penalty area like that, if luck's running your way, a mishit shot never seems to fall to the defensive team. It always goes to the bloke that's in the space. And Daniel Barach, Johnny on the spot, tucked it away, and they've got a 1-0 win. And they'll be delighted that Daniel's on the score sheet. I mean, as a new player at the club, they'll be looking for him to get goals, and he's started his campaign really well. Gungahlin had one glorious chance to equalise in that second half. James Fletcher picking out Jack Green unmarked on the penalty spot. And for a player who's as good in the air as Jack Green is to not hit the target, he'd be very disappointed with that. Yeah, Jack Green. Yeah, I mean, I said during the game that you would have your house on him finding the back of the net from their free header, and he wasn't the only black shirt that was free at the time. Wonderful cross from Fletcher, who was busy up and down the right hand side all night. Jack Green got himself into the perfect spot to get the equaliser, but unfortunately from the Gungahlin perspective he's put it wide. Early days, of course, Steve. Round one of the football of the season. We saw Canberra Olympic and Tuggeranong last week, and we talked about their chances of being top four. Both these sides will be in the mix at the end of the season, you'd think, as well. Oh, certainly on that performance you would think that both teams will be competitive. There are players to come into both sides that will strengthen them. You know, the loss of Beaton, Wells, Adrian McCaw, Zach Mabry from Belconnen, the Jenkins from the back four at Gungahlin. So you would expect that both these sides will be better for the run. And I wouldn't be surprised if the four teams that we've actually seen end up making the final four. But there's a long way to go, and it's too early to be sort of making those sorts of claims. And plenty of other teams such as Canberra FC and Cooma Tigers, to name but two, will have their sights set on the top four as well. Steve, thanks for your company again this evening. We've enjoyed round one of the NPL. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks after Easter for round two. More action on Bar TV Sports throughout. More action on Bar TV Sports throughout the season. Tuggeranong United winning their game today by 3-2 over Riverina Rhinos as well. So for what it's worth, they're top of the table on goals scored, but after 2 matches have been played, and that's it. But what we saw here today was two teams who fought toe-to-toe for the full 90 minutes, an entertaining match to start us the season. The full-time score here at McKellar Park, it finished Belconnen United 1, Gungahlin 0.